This is the bare bones tent, which was at Audiofeed this year and will be there going forward. I saw some internet chatter which indicated confusion about what bare bones was, and so I hope to clear it up a little bit with this video. We are Elphie and Joel, and usually this is how you'll see me at the festival. Bare bones tent is meant to be a place to hang out, relax, chill, or whatever. There's no agenda attached beyond that. We have no affiliation to any organization or ministry. There really isn't anything provided like coffees or snacks or anything like that. There are vendors and other spots where you can get that if you need it. So that's why we're calling it the Bare Bones. And thank you to Jonathan McGee for the name suggestion when we threw out the idea earlier this year and decided that we were going to do this. So why are we doing this? The answer to that sort of comes with a bit of a history lesson dating back to the Cornerstone years. At Cornerstone and throughout the first 8 Audiofeed festivals, there was a group who ran a tent called the Asylum. It started out much like the Bare Bones idea, a place for subculture folks to hang out. Their target audience was more of the goth subculture, but still that was the idea, a place to hang out. One often could find conversation coffee at all hours of the night at the Asylum. Over the years, more things were added to the Asylum, including stages and other programming. Another ministry worked with the Asylum during some of the Audiofeed years called the Grave Robbers Ministry. In 2022, they had their own tent that was a place to hang out for the goth and other communities, but there wasn't, again, much of an agenda to it other than just come as you are and hang out. In 2023, after the Grave Robbers felt they needed to step away, there was no tent at Audiofeed for the goth folks. It seemed like there was no home for them, I guess you could say. There was a subculture tent that year, this year, and as far as I know going forward, but as far as just a tent for hanging out, that aspect seemed to be lacking. Elphie had her merch table in 2023, and that sort of turned into a default hangout for a few from the goth community and others. But we heard people talking about that desire for a tent to return that was similar to what the Grave Robbers had provided in 2022 and the Asylum for the many years before that. Reaching back into the Cornerstone history for another moment, there was another area called the Hobo Jungle where the punks, well specifically the crust punks, sort of gathered. And we heard some folks state a desire for something like that as well. As for me, my many years of going to Cornerstone from the 2004 up until its end, and then Audiofeed began, during most of those years I hung out along the lakeside with a group of friends who ran the Underground and later the 86 Club in Cincinnati. We had a canopy that we would set up on a flat spot of the hillside over the lake, and we'd also built out a little deck so we had ample space to hang out. As it turned out, we were camped next to Mama Linda and the Road Dog crew for many of those years as well. I thought about those Cornerstone years in that canopy, and even though it's not really that big at 10 by 20 feet, I thought it could be used for something to give space to those who needed a hangout spot. We discussed this on our drive back from Audiofeed in 2023, and I asked Chris Human about its availability, and I was then granted permission to use it if I could get it transported from Cincinnati. I talked with the Audiofeed team and they were on board with the idea as well, so we started making a plan to go forward with this. The idea wasn't to make it an exclusively goth or punk hangout or anything like that, although some of the aesthetic certainly naturally gravitates that direction. Anyway, to bring this all to a close, that canopy we used at Cornerstone turned out to be a bit too cumbersome, so we ended up purchasing the one that we used for the Bare Bones this year. It was considerably lighter and a whole lot easier to put up, and we feel that it really did work out quite well. So, if you are looking for a place to hang out with no agendas, and as we hope at least, no drama or any goofiness like that, we hope that you'll find that place at the Bare Bones. Again, to reiterate, we are simply a place to hang out. No agendas, no affiliation to anything, no added amenities except for this accidental ice cream party that happened. So we hope that we will see you at the Bare Bones tent going forward in Audiofeed 2024 and well beyond that.
This is a revolution!